So, looks like there's a number of people interested in what's in your colon. And you know who helped me with that is our IT tech person at Alaska Center for Natural Medicine. He's sitting over there, Mike. We call him Mike Z. And you know, there's in our society, there's a lot of jokes about pooping and the colon and farting and you know when you talk about the colon, people are like, kinda, right? So I get a lot of crap about my position, right? Being a therapist, and a lot of jokes. So our person over there is like, do the poopy chicken. He won't get up and do it, and I'm like, you're gonna tell me I gotta dance, but you're not gonna do it? Yeah. That and poop, there it is, you know. I get stuff all the time. But you know what? One of the best things is laugh. Laughing helps with your mood, with your energy. It's positive, right? What contributes to serious illnesses, conditions, diseases is stress. Okay? So laughing is one of the best things you can do also to help with your colon health. When I'm doing colon hydrotherapy sessions, one of the things that's happening in the room during the session is laughing. I know you go, what could be so funny? You wouldn't believe it. Okay, gonna get started with healing from within. These are some of the, I'll say, assets that I use to help people with their health. So she mentioned this, I practiced it most of our life. It was cultural for us to stay hydrated, eat healthy, do enemas if we did get constipated, forgot to drink the water. That was just part of our lifestyle. Nutrition, health, and safety, was certified in that. Is very important, even though we're raised to know, wash your hands. When you come in the house, you go straight to the bathroom and wash your hands. Natural, healthy practices. It's like that. This training that I had and certification also addresses the myriad of chemicals and toxins that are in our environment that didn't exist years ago but exist now. They have done health and wellness presentations in the community through NAACP National for our communities because we're in dire straits. We're in a bad position in America. We're one of the most unhealthy countries on the planet, okay? Heart disease is first, colon cancer is the second biggest killer in our country. So when you come to see me at the center about the colon hydrotherapy, colon health, says conducts appropriate orientation instructions and schedule for individual detoxification programs. That's just standard because while we're all similar in some ways, we're very different in unique ways. Individualized diet, nutrition, counseling. It's not about diets, but eating properly. Our bodies are made to digest food certain ways, and Americans eat wrong a lot. So Holistic Training Institute, as you can see, is where I got my certification. And these are just a few of them. So you can get your doctorate in naturopathy and then these other therapies and specialized areas. Healing foods preparation. Food is something that's very healing. So your digestive system. Many people just have certain ideas about it, whatever they learned in health class. So it being vital to your health that doesn't speak, to the importance of it at the level it should. is it vital to your health. Your digestive system, like almost 80% of your immune system resides in your colon, okay? You trash that, you're open to a myriad of health issues. It's connected to every single system in your body. So what happens when things go wrong? Many things. So the digestive problems that have been around a long time, that contributes to many of the reasons that people have to go to the doctor and the hospital. So this is a very complex picture and description of your mouth. But that's where digestion starts. A lot of people think of the stomach when they're thinking of digestion, but it's here. We should all chew our food till it's the consistency of like applesauce before we swallow it. Too many times people yum, 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 and then swallow it, and they're depending on the rest of the system to take care of it. It can't. Digestion, and we say in the colon hydrotherapy field, it's from the rooter to the tutor. Okay? So this is a very important part in the aspects of the mouth. I'm wondering if this is going to work. Okay, so this shows, gets into detail about the stomach. Let me see if there's some aspect. Yep, there it is. Okay, the mouth, what it does. Breaking up food, digesting starch, killing germs if you've got a healthy mouth. If you got a germy mouth, it's hard for it to kill the germs, right? And moistens the food. I'm going to talk about the optimum hydration rate and later, but moistens food. Now, if you're eating dry food, you should only sip warm or room temperature water. And I'm talking sipping to moisten the food so you can get it to the right consistency and then swallow it. We're not supposed to be sucking down sodas and coffee and all these drinks because it interferes with the digestive process. You dilute and just mess up the chemical processes, especially if you're drinking something acidic, okay? So that's why we have the indigestion and acid and reflux and all these other problems. Then, this is what the stomach's job is, in simple terms, okay? Killing germs again, but you gotta have a healthy environment in the stomach. Breaking down that food, digesting the proteins, and then storing some of it. There's what's a sphincter. So when someone gets acid indigestion, the heartburn, it's in those, it has to do with problems with those sphincters, okay? The two sphincters, when they are not operating correctly, they will give you will have problems. So here are the major parts of, major organs in this central part of your body. When your large intestine becomes enlarged with waste, it squeezes on these other important organs. Now, one of the most important parts of the colon is to hydrate the body. So you want a healthy one, but if it's full of toxic waste, whatever it touches, it absorbs, so it can be, that's how it poisons. It goes into your bloodstream, so that's how it can harm other body systems. So here's the stomach, the different parts of the stomach that are crucial to digestion. It's just temporarily stored there. So you shouldn't be suffering overnight with nasty food in your stomach. It should digest quickly, so you got to eat proper foods. And gastric juices to help with the digestion are important. Layers of muscle that move to help it move through your stomach, and then mechanically and chemically breaking down the food, but it has to have the right chemical balance in there to do that properly. So here are the different functions of the stomach. Food storage, but only temporarily, and how far it can stretch. Killing the bacteria, disinfecting it. Otherwise, flu, food poisoning, vomiting, diarrhea if it doesn't disinfect the food. Who's had that happen before? Food poisoning, right? Chemical digestion, enzymes to break down the proteins. And then this is the job of the small intestine also, where most of the chemical digestion takes place, and processing simple sugars and proteins. The key here is to consume healthy, low glycemic sugars and healthy proteins, fatty acids and glycerol for the lymphatic system, and lined with the villi to help with digestion and for absorption of nutrients. So solid materials are supposed to pass through. How are they supposed to pass through? A healthy functioning colon, 1 meal in, 1 meal out, bowel transit time. That's how it's supposed to be. So indigestible solids and fibers, water is absorbed, but we have to drink enough water, and here I'm going to insert. What's the proper amount of water we're supposed to drink? Most of the people heard, drink 8-ounce glasses a day, right? Well, if you're that big, can you do that? No. Half your body weight in ounces of water a day, 4 ounces every 20 minutes. That's for the average adult. So if you're smaller, then it's less, If you're taller, bigger, then it's a little bit more, okay? Vitamins, those vitamins cannot be reabsorbed if you are not properly hydrated. The optimum hydration rate is critical to all of these processes happening in the body. So vitamins K and B reabsorbed with water. The rectum solid waste is supposed to exit. If there is a problem with exiting, you're not drinking enough water. Okay? Here is a picture of a healthy colon. I've got 2 displays back there that include pictures of unhealthy colons. This is how a really strong, healthy colon is supposed to look. Many different parts of it, and I talk about this when to my clients, patients that come into Alaska Center for Natural Medicine, about what each part does, and we get into that, and can also tell where someone is having a problem during the colon hydrotherapy sessions, as the water, and I'll explain that, how the water helps to cleanse the colon, where they're saying, oh, I've got a pain, or oh, I've got a little ache over here or something going on. See, I can tell what part of the colon is having issues and what part of the body. So these are common digestive problems. In America, this is like normal for people to have at least one of these at some given time. Some people suffer with them for years. So, and they even have the funny commercials. Just to give you an important tip is that the over-the-counter medicines and the commercials you see, gas, bloating, diarrhea, and they're dancing. They even got one of the products where they're dancing and going with talking about the product. Well, when you hear the word treat, it's treating symptoms. Symptoms are our body's communication system. Something happens to let you know, hey, don't eat that. That's making me sick. You eat, oh, I just love, name it. Like for me, oranges are a little too acidic. Okay, so if I want to drink some orange juice, I got to dilute it. That's just because that's how my system is. For somebody else, it might be okay. You've heard one man's medicine, another man's poison, right? You got to pay. It's good, beneficial, critical to pay attention to what kind of reaction you're having when you consume something, okay? Occasional irregularity. Well, it's occasional. When does it happen? What causes it? Chronic constipation, dehydration, the wrong foods, the wrong combination. You're not chewing it enough. You're stressing out. You got a lot of stress going on in your life. You're eating too many things. You know, you're not giving your body a time to digest. You're eating constantly. I could go down the list. Stomach aches. Is there gas in there? What's going on in there? What did you combine? Acid reflux. Okay? That's a reaction to foods. IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, leaky gut, Crohn's disease, colorectal cancer. Those are all common, and they shouldn't be. Here's another one. I'm just going to go over these, not get into them in detail, but acid reflux. That's another one that has a number of products that they sell to help relieve symptoms, but it doesn't cure the problem. Holistic health, holistic practices, holistic medicine deals with what is the cause and what needs to be done to heal it. Mind, body, spirit, okay? Combination. You can do something physically, but if mentally, you know, spiritually you're stressing out, there's things of stress, and that's affecting your body too. So those are some of the things that help you to stop the acid reflux that contribute to it. So it says don't lay down 2 to 3 hours after eating. What we should do after we eat is take a walk to help the digestion. That helps. That doesn't mean you gotta fast pace, but just take a walk. So that's what the definition of that. Taking the heart out of heartburn, it's not really heartburn. This just describes what this is, what it actually is, not heartburn. The esophagus with the ring muscles at the top and bottom. So if the bottom ring doesn't keep the lower part tightly closed, so if it doesn't function properly, allows acid, you know, from the stomach, it can come back up, and that creates the burning sensation. I like that where it says it's called heartburn, but it has nothing to do with the heart. The pain the person feels is it's in that area because everything is so closely, you know, connected, not just connected, but housed in our core, that you can feel something in one area, but it's not actually that particular organ, is something else. So irritable bowel syndrome, this is a good description of it here. So it talks about, let me see, I got a little pointer. Oops, what did I do? Okay, there it is. There's a little pointer thing that's supposed to work on here. I don't want to mess with this too much, is it? Anyway, I wanted to use the pointer, but I forgot how to do it. Okay. All right, so where you see that circle over there on the left-hand side, the ileum of the small intestine, okay, and then the appendix. Well, the ileocecal valve is a one-way valve from the small intestine into that cecum area of the colon, and the appendix is attached to that. FYI, oftentimes a lot of food gets stuck down there. You're not drinking enough water. Again, it sticks, it dries, it rots. That's what contributes to an infected appendix. Is that it's poisonous, and the appendix can only handle so much till it becomes infected and then needs to be, you know, removed, which is very common, but we need every organ that we have. Then just basically every single part of the digestive system, what this is showing here, is that it's critical to optimum digestion, absorption of nutrients, for our body to be as healthy as possible. But when you get this, it doesn't happen. Then colorectal cancer, second biggest killer in the country. You should find out, these are questions for you. Who does it affect? Know the symptoms. What causes it? What diet? Is it in the family history? Which means that you can be predisposed or basically have weaknesses, certain weaknesses in the gene pool, but you don't really have to develop this if you know what to do regarding those, I don't like to call them weaknesses or differences that's in the gene pool. What is there that makes you more susceptible to it? Family history. Then, are you getting, what's the family history? I'm going to back up. What's the family history of lifestyle habits? Is it traditionally healthy? Is it stressful? That's what I ask about, when people say, oh, well, my uncle and some of my cousins and my, all these relatives, they have or died of or been sick with colorectal cancer. Then I go, okay, what's the history there? And look at the basically what are issues that are the same, that are similar in each of these people. Were they smoking? Did they have bad lifestyle habits? A lot of drinking, eating unhealthy foods. Do you take vitamins? Do you eat healthy foods that are organic, non-GMO, and eat them to get the vitamins from that? And do you exercise? Even if it is just walking, is critical for us to get some exercise. The blood needs to pump through our bodies, okay? Circulation is critical to health. Constipation. So this describes it, condition in which large intestine is emptied with difficulty. I've had people over the years who have come in and said, I haven't had a bowel movement in a month. A month. That would be difficult to go a few days for me, seriously, or 10 days or 2 weeks, or I could give you but seriously, a month. I'm hearing about more people it's that bad. Too much water is reabsorbed and solid waste hardens. Well, reabsorbed into the system. Well, remember that optimum body rate, half your body weight in ounces. The timing is critical. So if you suck down 8 ounces of water, I like to use the example of overwatering a plant. You've got a potted plant in a quart-sized pot. You got a half a gallon of water you pour in. What happens when you pour too much? It runs out the bottom, right? So what happens when you drink too much water? It runs out the bottom, okay? That's why I run to the bathroom. If I drink water, I run to the bathroom. Timing is critical. So that's why it's the 4 ounces or 3.5 or whatever, depending on your size. The timing is critical for it to give the body time to absorb it properly. Okay. Here are some conditions that develop in an unhealthy colon. See that appendix is all red and infected. Had a number of people over the years who have come in and said they had an infected appendix, didn't want to get the operation. What can I do? Well, you can look at your diet. What are you eating? What's your stress level? What's causing you stress? Get rid of that. Start colon hydrotherapy sessions. As you cleanse the rotted, putrefied waste and bacteria and germs and all that out of there, the appendix can heal. Okay? Our bodies, I studied the immune system while I was here at UAF and learned about how our bodies have the ability to reverse conditions if you catch things early enough, if you understand what to do, take the right action, you can heal. The spastic area, the ascending, okay, I'm going to start from that appendix down there, and the cecum is bloated. It's full of waste that's not moving. So then you got the ascending colon as it's going up. Look at that side compared to the other side of the colon. The descending colon on this right side is wider, bigger than the left side. When it is skinny like that, it's called spastic. So if you're feeling after you eat, it's like, oh man, this is hurting over here. And then it, but here it doesn't, down here, descending it doesn't. That's because there's spastic area, it is tightened up, okay? Then you're in the transverse colon. Right there in the middle where you have ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis. This is just giving you pictures of those different conditions. That is from waste that is rotted and putrefied and creates those conditions, and also from things that you consume, particular things you consume. So many of you have heard of non-GMO, basically the pesticides, herbicides that are in a lot of our foods, fruits and vegetables, and that contributes to that, which is why we need to be careful. Yes, it costs some more to get organic foods, but it's worth it to protect your health. I am noticing that I'm a little louder on this side than this side. Okay, anybody having a problem hearing me? No? Okay, good. So that gives you a visual of, the cancer and the polyps and what can happen in your colon. Now, this is one that some people know and too many do not. In order to effectively eliminate waste, we need to be in the right position. The best position that we're supposed to be in is a squatting position. But because we have many of these toilets that are designed that way, we're in the wrong position, so you got to get a footrest, and a lot of people know about the squatty potty. How many people have heard of the squatty potty? Okay, you can buy a footstool or, a step stool that can go in front of the toilet, because everybody's not the same height, so, a taller person can put their feet on a lower one, and they'll be up in that position. Even your knees are a little bit higher than that, you can, is okay. Some people, it says lean forward and put elbows on knees, and some people do that while they're on the toilet. If they don't have a squatty potty or a stool, they'll lean forward to help get the rectum in the right position for you to eliminate. The reason why a lot of people are sitting there, is because the rectum is pointed in the wrong direction in order to eliminate, and so it can't just ease out. The waste can't just ease out, and it's too dry. So this is the proper position. Also, relaxing breathing, and if you need the massage to help things move, you start on this side and go in one direction over and down, okay? So I know in India they have the squat, and other places they have squat toilets, or there's no toilet, there's just a hole, and you've been to India and other places. They're in the right position. Okay, poor diet, low in fiber. There's two types of fibers that work together, soluble and insoluble fiber. So the soluble fiber is one that I'd say acts like a sponge. It absorbs water. The insoluble fiber is like a broom, or like the flax seeds, something that's kind of rough. Bran, that helps act like a broom and scrape the waste through your colon, okay? Emotional stress, again, when we were laughing in here a little bit earlier, it's like, that's the opposite, right? That causes constipation. Other medical conditions, a lot of pharmaceutical drugs, over-the-counter drugs, they are treating symptoms. That means it's shutting off your communication system. When you have symptoms, your body's trying to tell you, hey, we got a problem here. You need to address this. You know, we shouldn't shut that down, okay? We should pay attention and say, okay, what is going on? What's causing this, okay? This is one of the colon therapy charts that I give to, you know, clients. And it talks about the 71 sacs that are in your colon. You can see it on that colon therapy chart back there. So each sac is related to another part and system of your body. Whenever there is putrefied, rotted waste in a certain section of the body, we see the symptoms in that other system. Once that clears out, and I'll give you an example, is that a client that I had couldn't stop coughing. Who's ever had that problem where they keep coughing and coughing and coughing? Transverse. Look at the transverse and look right down below that. It says trachea, esophagus, bronchioles, throat. During the session, as we cleared that waste that was right there in the transverse area of the colon, that person stopped coughing during the session. It went from to into nothing. It cleared. It's that effective. It can be that fast, okay? So those are all areas, and that's why colon cleansing helps people in so many different ways. It depends on what your issues are. So there are some holistic cures. The 10 benefits of colon cleansing or colon hydrotherapy. She's ready. She's taking notes. Makes the digestive system more effective. Maintains a regularity, relieves constipation. If you are eating 3 full meals a day, 7 days a week, you should be pooping how many times? 21? 3 times 7? Okay? If it's 3 full meals a day, not you have a snack, it's like you don't have to expect to have to go to the restroom after that. Increases energy. When your colon is loaded down with toxic waste, you're not going to feel good. You're not going to feel energetic. Increasing the body's absorption of vitamins and nutrients is critical, and if your colon is lined with waste, it cannot perform that. Improving concentration, how many people get sleepy, foggy? It's in there. Kickstarts weight loss. Listen to this. The colon can hold 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds of waste. Whoop, okay? Stretch out. It weighs something. So when a person starts eating right, hydrating, getting colon hydrotherapy sessions, and prepping their system, if you've got a long history of constipation, prep it before a session. We can get into that later. And then during the session, as they release waste, you can weigh a person before the session and weigh them after and see a difference of 5 or as much as 15 pounds. Decreases risk of colon cancer. If the problem isn't in there, you're not going to develop it, right? Increases fertility. Okay, that means that the transverse area of the colon can drop. It's called prolapsed colon when it drops and it's hanging down here. Well, it's resting on your reproductive system, on the uterus. It can really, literally crush the uterus. So we've had what we call holistic babies over the year. My brother came up with that name, where a woman goes through series of cleanses, makes the dietary changes, hydration, etc., lifestyle habits, lays on the slant board, head down, feet up, and massages and moves that colon, helps to move that transverse back up, heal that uterus. They've been able to get pregnant. Okay? That's what that increases fertility means. Maintains pH balance in the bloodstream, improves whole body well-being because, again, the colon's connected to every single system. And that's where health starts, in here. Whether it's in here, here, you're stressing. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they stressful? Are they helpful? It starts inside. So, clean and screen, there's different methods. And these are some of the questions about that. Some choices for cleansing: colon hydrotherapy, cleanse programs, foot baths. There's many different body wraps. You know, people get in, you know, they go in sweat. You know, sweat lodges are traditional in Native community, but perspiration, our skin's our largest organ. So that's like how, different choices of how. Is it safe and natural is critical for you to know. So one example, internal detoxification. That starts inside, cleansing it, getting it out, getting a healthy system. So clean and screen. People get screened for, you know, with colonoscopy, different types of screening. So who needs it? Many people do. Different age, you know, they have the age ranges, your family history, some of the points that were gone over earlier as to who needs screening. What symptoms do you have? What's been your history? You know, are you a veteran that's been in, you know, exposed to different, you know, chemicals and situations? What are they looking for is important, and what to do. What if they find something wrong? What can I do? Those are the things that goes with screening. And then what do you do afterwards? Do you want something that is going to be healthy to help you heal, or is it going to cause you more health issues? Okay? So this is a 10-step plan to help. Faith is finding out, exploring, studying, learning what will help, and having faith in that. If you start something you really don't believe in it, is it going to work? Is it going to be as effective? No. Fluids, again, proper hydration, okay? Drinking your water, chewing your food up, because you get fluids also from fruits and vegetables, you know. And some people say, what if I eat melons? What if I eat grapes? What if I eat, is that count my fluid? Yes, it can count your fluid, but you got to chew it up. So making sure your fluid level is optimum. The food, make sure it's actually food. A lot of things in America that's called food, it is not food. It's crap, right? It's so processed. Your body doesn't identify it, so what does it do? The body goes, what the heck is this? We're going to put that aside. If we can't get it out of here, we put it aside. So that's why people gain weight. You know, that's why the colon gets clogged up and you have all these health issues. It's reacting to things that are not food. If it's from the earth, yes, it's food. Fiber, making sure you have the balance of the soluble and insoluble. If you're just consuming soluble fiber, it can constipate you, especially if you don't drink enough water with the soluble fiber, okay? Flora, probiotics, who's heard of the healthy gut bacteria, right? You have to have the healthy flora in there to help your immune system to do its job, okay? Fats, healthy fats, not the French fries and the potato chips and the, you know, the ones that clog your arteries and cause heart attacks and strokes, and the healthy fats, okay? Coconut oil and like the natural oils, the salmon. A lot of people, you know, love that salmon and smoke it, and the healthy oils. Fitness. Doesn't mean you got to look like a weight, you know, bodybuilder, but you're walking, you're breathing, you're exercising and stretching. Do you notice that animals, after they've been laying down sleeping, what's the first thing they do? Stretch, right? Dog, first thing they do, they're not getting up going anywhere until they stretch. That's what we're supposed to do also. Try that and see how you feel. Learn proper stretches. Fun, having fun, laughing, hanging out with friends or family, or do something fun every single day that you can. Flushing. Not only flushing your system, flush out those things you might be holding. Grief, anger, sadness, that counts. Okay, that causes you stress. Find solutions for that. Flush those things out. No longer serves you, no longer has a purpose. Flush it out. Forgiveness. If you goof up, forgive yourself. And then make sure you don't do it again. Because some people say, oh, I did it again. Oh, I did it. It's like, You can't keep using that excuse. But you do forgive yourself. If you're doing your best and everybody does it, oops, you forgive yourself. And others, depending on what that is. So this is what internal detoxification with colon cleansing is. Cleansing the healing and rejuvenating of the colon. Not just helps with illness, it can eliminate it. Disease prevention. Would you rather get something and then got to deal with it, or just avoid it? I've had people say, oh, you're a health nut, you're a health freak, and we're going to die of something. Okay, yes, everybody has a time, you're going to go of something, but do you want to rush to get there? Do you want to pay to get there sooner? Really? That's like, so if you're teaching your child to cross the street, do you tell them, oh, don't look both ways, you might die anyway, just run across the street. Just run across the street. It's like, no, that's prevention. We have steps for things so that you can do it as best as possible. Strengthen the immune system, a clean colon. Has the right gut bacteria, the balance in there, can absorb nutrients, can hydrate the body. Those things, again, those are critical aspects of health. Maintaining healthy mind and body. It's connected. So here we are at the point of questions and answers. Let's see. Someone gave me some questions here. Nerves affect many parts of the body. How exactly does the colon affect different parts of our body? The nerves. Well, it's not up here now, but the nervous system, nerves are connected all through the body. So whatever, you're like, yes, you got it, okay. Yes, I have business cards. They are on the back table. Let's see. Ear, nose, and throat ever affected in ways by the colon. When you look on that chart back there that has the different, body systems that are connected, yes, it does. Is a suppository same as Fleet's enema? Are they equal to both? I don't know. Let me explain something real quick about enemas. Enemas primarily flush the lower part of the colon. Unless you do something that's called, a high enema, where you get in the position of you kneel down, your head's down, and your rear is up. And so the water can flow down into your other parts of the colon. The enema is only going to flush the lower part of the intestine, okay? But the enema, those suppositories, they just kind of lubricate what's down there, but then you can still be kind of hard and rough waste that helps it to relieve it. Colon hydrotherapy, it hydrates that dry waste. The consistencies of waste can be like glue, like putty, gravel, sand. It can be that rough and dry, okay? Can be abrasive to the walls. That's what can cause rectal bleeding. When you come in for colon hydrotherapy, there's two kinds, because colon hydrotherapy is ancient method. It's thousands of years old. In Africa, they were filling gourds with water and using reeds to insert into the rectum. It's not new. So there's the gravity method of colon hydrotherapy, where the containers of water are high on the shelf and they use gravity for the flow into the rectum. And then there's the machines, the more modern machines. With the machines, which is what we have at Alaska Center for Natural Medicine, there's a window on the front of the machine so you can watch what you pass, okay? A colleague calls it the poop TV. I told you I get a lot of crap for what I do, okay? And jokes all the time. So it's a method of water flowing in the colon and waste flowing out. Water in, waste out. Water in and gentle flushing of the colon. So that's much better than a suppository. And Metamucil, milk of magnesium, swallow at night. Okay, would it merely simply cleaning your colon? Okay, so those products can't really clean the colon. And there's a difference between the synthetic or chemical laxatives and herbs. Some of the best herbs for colon cleansing, two of them I'll name, is senna and Cascara sagrada. They're in some products that I can mention after this, that you can drink the teas, and the herbs break the waste down, okay? Rather than irritate your colon so it wants to get it out, release that stuff, this irritation, and that's why you poop after you take the other laxatives, okay? So that's the end of the questions on that one. Anybody else?
What did you say, senna and what else?
Cascara sagrada. C-A-S-C-A-R-A-S-A-G-R-A-D-A. Cascara sagrada.
What's Crohn's disease? I know they talk about that. I just don't like it. Crohn's disease, what do we think should go to?
Well,
Could you repeat the question, please?
oh, she was asking what is Crohn's disease. Another, I guess you want a description that I'm not ready to give right now. But it's another very somewhat serious digestive problem that that one does affect the nerves. So people, it can affect how, so I know we've seen patients that have problems walking, just terrible aches in the legs and other places in the body. So each of those, IBS, Crohn's disease, and different ones, have similar symptoms and then various symptoms. And then it also depends on what else is going on with the person, what the symptoms are. But it's another destructive condition in the colon. Yes.
Have you heard of coffee enemas?
Have I heard of them?
Yeah,
Or,
for detoxification.
yeah, I've heard of coffee enemas. Now, coffee enemas, what kind? How effective it is depends on a few factors. Is it going to be good for the person that's getting it? Because it's like some people have a very toxic reaction to coffee. So you put it in their colon, it's not going to help. It's only going to make things worse. What kind of coffee is it? What are the symptoms a person has, and is that going to affect? It's effective for some people. Again, you got to look at one man's medicine, another man's poison. So I can't say, yes, coffee enemas are the way to go, they will help you. I can't say that. It might, and that's where we sit down and do the profile and ask the questions and get, an assessment of, what is good for you. My mom, she loved the taste and smell of coffee, but when she drank it, it'd be like, oh, she's bent over in pain. And it did make her go, but it was because of the negative effects it had on her body. It gave her diarrhea. Not good. So that, that depends. Any more? Yes? I see two. I'll go here first and then here. I saw him first.
Is there a way of stimulating the growth of good bacteria in your gut?
Yes. That's where you cleanse all the bad bacteria and putrefied toxic waste out of there. You can't have a healthy environment of good bacteria unless you have a clean system. Otherwise, that good bacteria that you're putting in there is too busy fighting and dealing with what the bad bacteria and toxins are causing. It's not really, you're not benefiting from it in that. It's just working to try and keep you from getting worse. That's what it does. So it's more effective in a clean system. Yes, sir.
The ratio for hydration, what you gave?
Oh, the equation for hydration? Half your body weight in ounces. That applies to everybody. And then for the average adult, like me, somebody a little taller and about my size, I'm 5'4", is 4 ounces every 20 minutes. But it changes depending on your height and size. So for a little kid, it might be lower, 2 ounces, 1.5, 1. That amount varies according to the size. But yeah, half your body weight in ounces. Why? Everybody's not the same size. Optimum, you're going for optimum hydration. The whole body. Yes?
What about like yogurt or fermented foods?
What about yogurt and fermented foods? Okay. That depends again. I don't consume dairy. So my yogurts are, the coconut milk, they're others. So dairy contributes, a lot of times you hear in the diet, cut out the dairy, cheese, and I didn't say this before, but cheese can stick to the walls of your colon. Waste can stick in your colon, not just for days, weeks, months, but years, decades. Okay? I'm going to tell this story that happened at my brother's holistic center years ago about a young lady that came in, was in her mid-30s, was having, her appendix was starting to bother her. She didn't want to get it taken out. She says, what can I do? And it was some of the things I told you about, changing the diet, what are you doing, the stress in your life, and doing internal detoxification program, okay? So, and getting a series. You can't get all of the waste out in one session, so you have to do a series. How many varies from person to person. Anyway, she decided to do that, all in, started the series of therapies, and during one of the sessions, remember I told you there's a window on the front of the machine so we can see what passes through, waste and mucus and other things. Well, with her session, a Barbie doll shoe went through the window. A Barbie doll shoe. Well, guess what? You're laughing. Guess what? She started laughing. Her and her brother, when they were about 7 or 8 years old, were goofing around and bet each other that they could swallow different things. She thought she had passed it out years ago. The sac areas, when you look at that chart back there, there's 71 sacs in the colon. Well, we figured what happened is the shoe got stuck up in one of those areas. It got covered over by food she had been eating. Fast food and junk and crap. And so when you're getting the colon hydrotherapy sessions, where it hydrates the waste and it builds up in layers, okay? Like soil, it builds up. So we're clearing out layers of soil, getting through until it gets to the walls. You got that? Does that make sense? Okay? And so it finally got hydrated and cleared one of those sacs, and out came the... I'm telling you, we see things that go, what the heck was that? I'm not kidding. It's in people's colons. Poop doesn't have just one description. Yeah, so you can keep it in there. That was one of the best examples. I was like, if that's not a good example of how long you can keep waste in your colon, I don't know what is. Yes?
Do you have any comments on how people let go of things, how it's related to the colon, like letting go of an emotional history or like just kind of like mental health related to colon health?
Yes. Did you hear that question? Huh?
Say it again.
She said, is there any suggestions on how people can basically let go of emotional, what else did you say? Like problems.
So mental health related to colon health.
Mental health related to the colon health. Basically, yeah, there are some suggestions, resources. Oh, on the back table there, if you want more information, please sign your name, put your name down, and your information to contact information. Got business cards back there too, and I think I put a few of them in little brochures back there too. So, yes, there are some suggestions of resources that I make, or books, or, referrals, and also to other holistic professionals. Because like massage therapy can help for some things. Acupuncture, there's different ones. Hypnotherapy, yes, there are resources to help with that. Did that answer a little, kinda?
Oh, well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Any other? Yes?
How does insurance view this?
With the colon hydrotherapy, insurance, we're still getting there on what insurance will cover. Basically, paying the way it's set up here in this state is cheaper in many ways is cheaper to pay cash than it is, because if you're going to use insurance, you got to see the doctor, which costs. That's going to be on there, and then they have to refer, and then you can get the therapy. So anyway, in the business office, they figured that out, was that the amount, the cost of getting the whole program done of the internal detoxification, as opposed with cash or with insurance. And they explain that if you have that question. Yes?
So you should be referred by your doctor, but I mean, what do you go in and say, my stomach hurts and I want to get hydrotherapy? I mean, how would you be referred, I guess?
There's some modern medicine doctors that may, but mostly they're naturopathic doctors. At Alaska Center for Natural Medicine, they don't have that because of, like I said, it gets complicated. And they're happy to explain, okay, here's what would happen if you go this route, and if you pay cash. So they do take HSA, cards, and paying that way. That is covered if you're paying, as far as I know, with your HSA and that, you can. Health, what's that called? Health something, savings account, yes. There's the HSA and it's another one. If you have it with your insurance, yep, you can use that. Anybody else?
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.